All right. How is it going, everybody, this evening or afternoon or wherever it is, when and where you are watching us? We are here on the WebDM Twitch channel playing The Land Between Two Rivers. And I am joined by my illustrious and talented group of players. We are going to delve deep and journey far into this wasteland, this desert, this desperate and dying world is trying to eke itself back into life. We journey once again to the land between the Horn and the Hound rivers, where the nature priests of the Fellowship of Andrus maintain a fragile oasis in this harsh wasteland. The settlement of Trade Town sits south of the confluence of the two rivers, and it finds itself under attack by a mysterious force. Before we get started, let's go around and meet all our players, see how they're doing and who they will be playing again this evening, and then we'll dive right in. Grant, why don't you start us off this time?
Jim Davis, you know what time it is? It's Rolex time. We've got the prettiest faces and all the fans here on Thursday night. Dungeons & Dragons come to you live on WebDM. We've got the strongest arm and all the charm. I'll be playing Gildan, the son of Bakai, the cleric of Baba Yaga. And I know the WebDM crowd is in for a treat tonight. And we're here to dig deep and take all the treasure and gain all the XP. We're going to level up, or my name isn't Grant Bartholomew Ellis III. Woo!
Yes, there you go. There you go. Lindy, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, apparently not as good as Grant. Man, that's so much hype. I don't even know if I can handle. I am doing super spiffy, though. Super excited to be playing the lovely Mer Valentine this evening. Tiefling bard extraordinaire, flirter of everyone, and, efficient business owner. It might work for the wardens just a little bit on occasion. It's cool. Sometimes it's cool. It's fun.
Sometimes, sure.
Just sometimes.
When it suits you.
When it's beneficial.
Right. Anna, why don't you take it away?
Hello. I can't compete with both of them, especially Grant. But you guys keeping it real. So real. Hello, I'm Anna, or Cyborg Pizza, on Twitch, and I'm going to be playing Ellie. She's actually a human barbarian. She just found out she was a barbarian last session because she raged. But humans are weird here, and she doesn't know why, or does she?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. TK, how are you? How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. Basically just here to play Icky and look for an opportunity to eat one of my party members if I can. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I didn't have enough spaghetti. By the way, I'm not trying to be that guy or anything, but in love with Anna's eyebrows today. They look
top notch.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, thanks.
And finally, Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Jim. Just hanging in there, feeling good, feeling fresh again. Not as fresh as Grant, who is probably doing pretty good on those meds he's taking.
Yeah, the sickness is with us tonight as we all battle, the fact that we live in bodies that get sick, and it's unfortunate that happens. But here we are playing this wonderful game and imagining ourselves in a different land, although perhaps not a land you'd actually want to spend time in. When we last left off, the settlement of Trade Town was under attack by a mysterious group of raiders, which had come out of a flying pyramid that was generating a sort of an arcane storm. And a great wind had caused a dust storm that passed over the city of Trade Town. we had Gildan, the goblin cleric, Baloo, the bugbear druid, Iki, the lizard folk ranger, and Ellie, the human barbarian, had gone out to meet some of the threat and perhaps gain some information while they're out there. Myrrh is back in the settlement about, say, probably 50 so yards, so quite a bit of the ways away, but you are in the settlement. We will start with those outside who have captured one of the raiders, spared him or her from dying, and are about to, well, going to have to decide what it is you do with this creature. And I'll leave it up to the players. Let's get going.
Baloo,
Yeah.
we must take this one to your warden friend, Mir, to extract the knowledge from it. I hear she has rumors of being the most persuasive.
Her name's Myrrh, and yeah, she's a good talker, better than me. So yeah, let's go talk to her about it. But we're not worried about the other one that's flying around. There's another one.
Well, there are, if you take stock for a second, you will notice that there are quite a few of them around. Your visibility started out at maybe 10 feet or so, and as the dust storm has passed over you, you can get a good about 50, 60 feet of visibility, and you can see that there are dozens of these pairs of raiders zooming in and around the walls of Trade Town, and you can hear screams and shouting coming from the settlement itself.
Oh. Yeah, maybe we should rush back in. Looks like there's trouble.
It would be unwise to engage them.
I guess so. Still, I'm going to try.
What are Iki and Ellie doing while Gildan and Baloo are having this conversation?
I think Ellie's just kind of weirded out by everything, like, but maybe we should maybe fight them, because if not, they'll probably bring even more people with them, or whatever they are. I just don't want anybody to get hurt, or at least none of us, because you guys seem kind of okay people.
Are the ones that were killed, are they still around? Like, are their bodies still there?
So there was one that Ellie had driven her axe into its head,
Totally
and
pulverized,
it was about 30 feet away from where you are now. There's a lot of tall grass here because y'all are right on the riverbank. The city, of course, sits right on the river, and immediately to the west is where it is. So there's a lot of tall grass mixed with patches of sandy ground.
Okay.
But yeah.
So yeah, Iki's gonna go ahead and start pulling her vines back and just like grabbing up the biggest rocks that she can find and start trying to peel the armor off of the still living one and like get the soft flesh inside if she can. Just like already like, if it's still alive, that's fine with me. I don't care. Just like taking the sharp rock and just bah, 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 bah.
It is still alive, saved
Good.
thanks to the efforts of Gildan.
Wow.
And if you like get on it, you find the seams where this very form-fitting and almost organic armor meshes with whatever it is that's underneath there.
It's like a crawdad, basically. She's just like getting her little
Peeling it off.
talons in and just like ha 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 ha.
So are you going for the head, another body part?
No, soft, fleshy torso area.
Okay, so as you get at it, it's like some kind of metallic plates on a deep red kind of mesh that as you sort of rip it apart, you can see that there's a soft, jaundiced looking flesh, very yellowy, and you know how sometimes like after surgery or something, there's like the iodine that's on the skin. There's that kind of liquid, sort of a deep amber kind of liquid there as you peel this something off of it. And obviously
Just
the three
like-
of your companions can see this.
Yeah. I guess they're just watching Icky just like, yes, this is good, and just kind of like
Icky.
scoop in.
Ellie's so grossed out.
Oh, is she? Now, are you scooping into the flesh now, or are you gonna let us ask this individual some questions first? Because we can ask questions while you eat them. He might think you'll stop, but that doesn't mean you gotta stop.
Icky's like already like, if it's possible to pierce the skin with her talons, she's already like wrist deep.
Okay, so yes, there's flesh and blood underneath this mesh and metallic suit.
Fantastic.
And blood comes pouring out of the wound in his abdomen, crimson and hot. And it's about this time that two things happen. The pyramid, which has slowly descended from the heavens in which it emerged and surrounded by these sort of billowing dark clouds, settles on the bank opposite Trade Town. It's maybe about 100 feet or so set off from the bank itself, but it's like right there. And then you start hearing sharp, loud, like bangs coming from Trade Town. And Myrrh, as from your vantage point, you can see that a fierce skirmish has broken out at the southern gate, not far from where you're at. You see Dodvi, the warden who was getting on Baloo's case not too long ago, leading a group of orcs, bugbears, hobgoblins, as a group of these raiders try to force their way into the southern gate there.
Okay, do they look like severely outnumbered, or do they look like they maybe have it under control a little bit?
There's about 9 defenders right now. It looks like the initial defender or the initial guards at the gate were overtaken, but Dodby has arrived with reinforcements. It's actually, let's see. Does Myrrh have any experience in combat, in battle, or anything? Is she a warrior of any kind?
Not much of a warrior. She prefers more of a one-on-one kind of combat. But I'm sure that when she was a bit younger, there was skirmishes on her caravan and stuff. So she's seen a bit. She doesn't know a lot, but she has some knowledge.
Okay. It looks like there's a kind of a stalemate. It's difficult to see exactly where the enemy is. They're hiding immediately or surrounding the southern gate, or a lot of broken bits of masonry from whatever original wall makes up the southern wall of Trade Town. And so there's plenty of places between that and the clumps of grass for people to hide. And it looks like the raiders are sort of like just picking at the defenders.
Okay.
And it looks like they're basically just exchanging ranged fire.
Can she provide any ranged support for where she is?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's within your first range increment.
Oh, nice. So it's not a disadvantage this time. Convenient. Okay, that is good. That is going to be a 19.
I should pull up some stats for these guys, I think.
Yeah.
If you want to.
If I wanted to. I mean, I suppose it's within my power to not and just hand wave it, but that's no fun.
Just go spur of the moment.
What did you get for the armor class?
19.
19 hits.
Okay, that'll be 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. So there, you spot one who's like stalking in the grass and hiding behind a large piece of fallen masonry, and it's got a long silver tube with a large sort of hook or something at it, and you can see it sort of like rests the tube on the masonry, and that is this. It's sort of just. Something happens and there's this loud bang, this sort of retort from the air as it takes aim, and there's like wood chips fly off the gate, and it otherwise then ducks back down behind the fallen masonry. The rest of the gang, you guys hear this? You see this? You see the pyramid settle across the river. Icky is wrist deep in a prisoner, and I need to know what you guys are doing. It's been less than a minute.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Icky doesn't even notice. Just like, yes.
Yeah, Ellie's just really grossed out. She can't look away for some reason.
Doesn't even offer Ellie, and it's just
like, no, she does not. No, as soon as she just sees you're just like going to town, it's just like she does. She's probably. It's probably the frenzy. She's very exhausted. She just wants to throw up, but that's just
too much.
Pulls like a particular scale of armor and like looks at it and is kind of like flexes it a little. Oh, okay, into the bag.
Yeah, it's curious. It's incredibly flexible, but otherwise has the properties of a metal.
Icky, save the sweetmeats for me. I will pay you for them.
I will do this once.
Thank you. Now, have you started to do him or her in, or can we question the soul?
You're free to do what you want as I eat.
Okay.
As that's going on, it's still got its mask on. You're close enough now that the big red eyes are lenses of some kind, or transparent at least. You can see when you look that it's just watching you, even as Icky is wrist deep in it.
Yeah.
It's not screaming. It's not struggling.
Oh no!
Oh, that's for the best.
Take off its helmet. Face.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm reaching under by the chin and I'm pulling it up like unmasking old man Withers at the amusement park. Just off. Who are you? Yes.
Wouldn't have got away with it too.
Its mask peels off, and part of it was in its mouth. So as you peel it off, there's like a piece of it that kind of comes out of its throat, and you can get a better look at it. Its face is sallow with the skin tightly pulled across its facial features. It's vaguely humanoid: 2 eyes, nose, a mouth, ears, etc. 5 fingers, but it has a sharp, angular features. It's not emaciated, but there's just skin and bone there. There's no flesh on its face.
All right, I'm going to
check for teeth.
I
want the big ones.
Easy there. I'm going to use thaumaturgy on myself twice so I can speak in 3 voices at once.
Okay.
Essentially, in the languages I know, I'm going to speak to it and kind of, poorly dubbed in Waste Witch speak and Goblinoid, and ask where it came from and if it understands me. If it understands me, nod yes.
It's its eyes turn to you as you kind of go about this speech, and you can see a smirk or something come across its mouth, just a slight smile, and then you think you hear it chuckle, but it otherwise doesn't react.
All right, so I'm going to stick a knife in its eye and twist it.
Okay.
And again speak and ask if it understands. If it understands, beg for mercy, and we might show it.
As soon as you stab his eye, Ellie's just going to town on this vomit. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, right?
Yeah. All right. How deep do you plunge the dagger?
Just enough that think of it this way. If my hand here is its skull and this is the eye, kind of going under as if I was going to pop out its eye like a fun little ball that I'm going to wear as a necklace and then feed to Icky after I tire of the necklace.
the things that we imagine in our role playing. It grits its teeth, which you can see are sharp and pointed uniformly like a shark's teeth.
It has teeth, Icky.
I want the teeth.
It at that, between whatever it is that Icky's doing down here and what you're doing to its face, that's enough to get a grunt of pain out of this thing. As it's just kind of
yeah.
I'm gonna start moving towards organs too.
Okay.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Jeez.
Blue bugs out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find Myrrh, and I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna.
And I'm driving my girthy, jagged goblin fingers up its nostrils, if it has them, trying to get it to speak. And if it doesn't respond, I've tortured it enough.
both girthy and jagged.
Hang out with us, Ellie. We're the cool kids.
I don't think I noticed leaving because I'm just so focused on getting everything out, and then but as soon as whenever he leaves, I'll kind of look up, be like, that was so unnecessary, you guys. I'm just wait.
Icky just like looks up and is like, "Do you want teeth or not?"
No.
More teeth for Icky.
You will learn, soft flesh, soft skin, that this kind is not to be treated like you.
I wish Baloo would have said something so I could just, I don't know where I'm just stuck with you guys. I mean, you guys are fine. Please don't
We're
eat
out
me.
of the nest now. We're old enough to hunt your own meat. And like Icky just kind of like half-heartedly like tosses you just a handful of viscera and is like, eat.
I politely grab it because I don't want her to eat me. And I'll just kind of sniff it.
Do it. It will harden your skin.
It smells
Do I have
clean.
to?
You don't want it, give it back.
And she'll take a little bite of it.
Just like a...
How delicious is this? Do I have to roll anything?
Yeah. Let's make a Constitution check
Okay.
or save. Give me a save, just a save this
save?
time.
Yeah.
Icky too, or just Ellie because she's human.
9.
Yeah, you can't control yourself from retching.
I like hand it back to her.
So
Good things come in threes.
Smears it over her face and she eats it. Drops a little in for a skitter step.
Is the knife still in its eyeball?
Well, I was essentially popping its eyeball out of its head.
Okay, so its eyeball's out.
Enough to attach it back in, yeah.
Okay, its eyeball's out. It's got nostril jammed up.
But is it still attached? Like, can he still see things?
Ooh, can you turn around and see?
Absolutely, and I can
yeah,
play
that's
the
disgusting. That's what happens. Yeah.
Look at your own eye socket.
Look at this.
Icky isn't a person for jokes or anything, but Icky will like pick up like part of the intestine, kind of wave it a little, like
Oh, God.
if he can see his own intestine.
Be careful. That is full of bad and vile contaminants.
Gildan's right. While this is going on, Baloo is starting to make his way back to the south gate, and you can hear the sounds of fighting, shouting. There are these loud bangs periodically and flashes in the dust and sand that you can see. Myrrh, you notice that this whole thing's been going on for probably less than a minute. But they're not trying to get in necessarily, and they've dismounted from whatever things it was that they were riding around on, and are sort of like stalking through the grass and the rubble. But Myrrh, you can hear from inside the city screaming, shouting, more of these loud bangs.
Mhm.
It seems like it's chaos inside Trade Town right now.
Okay. Does it seem like they're after something in particular, since they're not trying too hard to get in through the gate?
These particular ones, or just the raiders in general?
Okay. Yeah, she's basically gonna make sure none of them really make it up to where she's chilling at in that building, because it's safe in here.
Yeah, you see them zip by on the streets. If you take a second to take stock of the situation, you can see that they are taking people, that that they are grabbing them in nets and attaching them underneath those vehicles that they're riding around on.
Is it at random? We see somebody alone, let's snag them. Or are they going after specific races or genders?
It looks like it's just random.
Okay.
Right now. If someone's caught alone or something like that, they'll take them. They're generally avoiding large groups of resistance, though.
Okay. Yeah, she'll make sure that this is a large group of resistance.
Okay.
And can't really help those people in the nets without getting too involved. So, too bad for them.
You can see Baloo running up, though.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna kind of maybe just damn it, Baloo, and then just leave her second story perch and kind of just go down to beat him at the first floor. See what he needs, because if he's coming back, he probably needs something.
Yeah, he's gonna have to come right through where those raiders are at the south gate.
Okay, yeah, she'll try to she's still playing her sitar bow. She's gonna try to clear the way a little bit for him, make it a little easier.
Okay, you can make another attack.
Oh, I don't think that hits. That's a 9.
9. No good.
I tried.
Baloo, what are you up to? You can see all this going on, everything I described.
So at the gate, how many of these raiders are at the gate?
So you're coming up behind them. You can see sort of in the grass, kind of hidden, are their 4 vehicles that they were riding on. But you can't see all 4 of the raiders. You see one pop out of cover, fire off its weapon, and then duck back down, or another stalking through the grass, that kind of thing. It looks like they're just trying to annoy the defenders. You can see Dodvi behind one of the gates.
I'm gonna try to sneak up onto one of their vehicles.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
Okay. We got that's not too bad. Well, no, that's not great. 11.
Okay. The vehicles are unguarded, and you manage to get pretty close to them. What do you do?
Do I see any way that you could move this vehicle, like the reins on a cart or on a horse? Or
you see what looks to be, it looks for all the world like a saddle. It's it looks like a saddle. There are places that look like you have to put feet, and then it's just this kind of large, sharp front of it that looks like there might be something underneath where it's at. It's hollow. There's a cavity in there that you'd have to get much closer to sort of investigate.
I'm gonna try to get on it. I'm gonna try to fit my giant blubby body on this thing.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a little uncomfortable. As you get close to it, within about 5 feet, you can there's a pressure on your chest, and just sort of a looking at sort of the bottom of it or the back of it gives you a mild headache. It's just slightly unpleasant to look at, and then but otherwise you're able to climb on it without any problems. But it's at that moment that you feel the tap of steel on the small of your back. What are Icky, Ellie, and Gildan doing?
Well, right now what I'm doing is I'm looking at Pretty Boy and his one-eyed sunken skull noggin and letting him know that I'm marking his bones as a coward, and I'm going to remember where I bury him. So in a few months when I come back and animate his corpse, he's going to be my puppet. unless he says exactly where he's coming from and exactly who's issued this attack.
It gives you a snarl. It's just and in a language that you don't really understand. Something like Chevwe Taloi, and just tries to like struggle against its bonds and is defiant.
I understand.
Oh. Go ahead.
Okay, Icky, you go right ahead.
Oh yeah, Icky's just kind of like getting bored eating and is now like continuing to peel more of the metal scales off and is going like, oh yes, I do need these. It's just like vines are doing their jobs, so
you just disembowel it?
No, I'm peeling off skin now.
Peeling off skin.
Just to see like what I can use it for and stuff. Like I'm just not Icky's like no longer hungry, just bored with eating.
Gotcha. As you're there, you have the clearest view of the pyramid, and you can see that a portion of it has started to separate, and an aperture in the side of it reveals itself, and you can see figures coming out.
Okay. Yeah, Icky's like peeling and then kind of like looks up and is like, what is that?
Not too sure, but we're about to find out. By the way, Icky, have some seconds, and I pop his eyeballs back in, give him a good cure wounds on his body to kind of start, you imagine fictionally his scales start reforming, his sinews start re-tying together. I go, man, second courses, save some room. And then I start looking for Baloo, and I go, come on, Baloo, we're not going to get anything out of him. He Chevwe Taloid us.
That's when you realize Baloo is long gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
I refer to all my imaginary friends as Baloo.
Walk this way.
You do notice that its outer, the crimson and metallic scales are not healed by the cure. Its yellow jaundiced flesh is, however.
Excellent. Icky likes this, but Icky is also like very concerned about this giant pyramid thing, and totally ignoring Gildan now is like mentally asking that for guidance again. Like, what do we do?
We observe from, I call out to him, I go, we observe from afar, we see how it behaves, and if it is greater than us, we flee to the waste and hide like the rabbit. However...
Tuned him out. It's just like...
Your guiding spirit is telling you something similar. Gildan is wise, and your guiding spirit is nudging you to trust, maybe, for survival purposes.
This time, Gildan. It's just gonna...
I nod.
Does then.
Okay.
Begrudgingly.
And then how about Ellie?
As soon as Gildan mentioned Baloo, she just walked away because she doesn't have anything else to throw up. So she's just gonna go and find Baloo.
Yeah, all those crickets that you had earlier.
Yeah, I had a lot of them.
Yeah,
they were delicious.
Very true. Very true. Let's see. I suppose at some point we will have to roll initiative, but right now we'll keep it in the loose order that we've got. Myrrh, you can see from your vantage. Well, you're on the first floor now, yes?
Yeah, because I was going out to greet him.
Gotcha. So in between you and Baloo are Dodvi and about 9 other denizens of Trade Town. You can see some of the orc wrestlers are there. They've got mostly short bows. They're exchanging fire with these others. It looks as though now that you're on the ground, you can see that one of the doors of the south gate has broken off its hinges. They've tried to shut the other one. Well, they have shut the other one, and are trying to form like a barricade in that gap there. So that's kind of what you see. That's between you and Baloo. Baloo's probably about 60 feet out.
Okay. about 60 feet out. All right, and is anybody harassing him immediately?
Yeah, you see it, Baloo's. He's trying to get up on this thing, and you see him stop, and you maybe see a brief moment of one of the raiders behind him, a long curved saber in its hand.
Okay, she's gonna kind of face palm again. See, just Baloo squished to this little thing. He's just like, and just kind of like rush forward and kind of like to like skirt like around so that she can get a better angle on like who's poking him from behind, maybe, but still getting closer. And as she does, because everyone else is really busy and engaged in combat,
they certainly are
right now, she is going to whisper under her breath, a dissonant whisper to this nasty fellow behind him, like, you leave my friend alone, and you leave him alone right now, and he has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Alrighty, what's the difficulty? I got a 3, and that is a 8 total, and 8.
Yeah, that does not succeed. All right, so he is going to have to use his full movement to run away as far as he can from me, and he takes 3d6 psychic damage. Oh, and that's actually pretty good. That is nice. 14 psychic damage.
14 psychic damage.
He has to run as far away as he can.
You reach out. This spell of yours, affecting its mind.
Yeah, he only hears it as a slight whisper in his ear.
And for a brief moment, you connect your mind with his in order to cast this spell, and you we might have to reflect later on what it is that you learn, but you catch a glimpse of the mind of this as you sort of connect briefly to inflict your psychic attack. You said that was 14 psychic damage?
Yes.
Nice. And then it will, Blue, you pretty much, there's a brief moment where you can feel the blade in sharp as it digs into your flesh between your shoulder blades, drawing, then just nothing. You feel it no more, and you can hear the sound of someone hoofing it. What do you do?
Blue might just kind of ignore that. It's just, he's a big guy, thinks poke him all the time, accidentally.
That's true.
Yeah, so he kind of like he starts to mess around with this thing. He's been around a lot of weird arcane things.
It's very true.
Grew up around them. Would he know anything about this?
You know that the wastelands are full of a lot of things that you can't explain and that don't have any convenient explanation. You know that the wastelands are filled with objects of war that have been used by civilizations far more advanced than what you're a part of now. And that if it's also a planar traveler, which everything about the storm and its arrival suggests, then it could be anything. And yeah.
Well, to be frank, he just wants to see if he can write it.
Okay, so get on it. You're on it. Give me are you proficient in any kind of vehicles at all?
Absolutely not. Although, yeah, no.
All right, then give me an intelligence check.
Okay. Hey. Yeah, that's a 17.
So you get on it. There is a place conveniently enough. Well, not so much conveniently because you're like, what, 7-8 feet tall?
About 7. Yeah,
7 feet tall. So it's not necessarily convenient. You're kind of squinched up. This thing is made for someone with hands much more delicate and wee than yours, and it feels like you're going to break it almost. But underneath there are 2 handles that kind of move about and float, and then the place where you can put your feet are also articulated, and you can move them at an angle. You're 17, your initial experimentations with it, you think that at the very least you know which way to make it go forward. But you're only floating about 2 feet off the ground right now.
Okay. If I have the action to do so, I'm going to try to see if I can't, aim it towards the group of raiders. And just see if I can move towards them.
Yes.
Okay.
You point it towards the raiders, and it starts creeping forward. You're not moving nearly as fast as you've seen one of these things move before, but you're making it go. You're also whipping through the tall grass around you, and it sort of is mowed down as you come at it. For the group that's coming in from the waist, Gildan, Icky, and Ellie, you see Baloo climb on this thing. One of these raiders running off into the grass inexplicably, and that's what you see.
How many feet is it from us?
Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and say that it's about 120 feet from you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start dashing full speed in that direction.
Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to let me see the range on my guiding bolt. I've got my searchable spell list. Guiding bolt has a range of 120 feet.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, so I'll go 30 feet and I'll throw that. So
okay.
I have to make a ranged spell attack. I'm not great at those.
No.
I'm great at melee attacks, though. Oh, nice. 22 to hit.
Nice. 22 definitely hits.
All right. And for the viewers at home, you can see my stats because the wonderful people at War Eagle Keep bring them up on screen.
Absolutely.
Yes. So 8 plus 5 is a 13 points of radiant damage, and the creature is now glowing with a mystical, dim, glittering light around it. So we get advantage on the next attack.
Yeah, it lights it up, and everybody, you can sort of see it flare briefly outlined in the dust and the sand that still hangs in the air. It's still up, stumbles a bit as you blast it with radiant energy. How about Icky and Ellie? What are y'all doing this? I'm guessing that y'all were making your way back towards the gate, but I may be making a wrong assumption.
I am going to bring up the ensnaring strike actually only lasts a minute on that one that we had bound and tortured.
I mean, you guys were there for maybe 2 minutes. By the time it would have worn off, you're I don't know how elbow deep.
So since that's concentration, and I want to go ahead and cast a Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
I can see, but the range is 90 feet. So can I move 30 to break up that 120 feet down to 90 feet? Yeah.
Yes.
And and then he's just gonna be like, yes, dinner, and that sweet Hunter's Mark, which is gonna last for about an hour if we don't kill him first. So if he manages to get away,
you'll find him.
I sure will.
So many new delicacies.
Do you do anything else?
No, I don't have anything ranged that will go that far. So
gotcha. Ellie,
how far am I now to the one that Gildan kind of
see, because you'd already started to make your way back last round. Yeah, I'd say you are you're like a move action away from it. You would have probably moved as far as you could last time, and it's sort of moving towards you, so you can kind of meet it halfway.
Okay. So as Ellie approaches this guy that is so lit, she's gonna take out her great axe. I'm just gonna be like, how did I do that thing earlier? It just felt really weird, and I kind of look around, and there's nothing really that triggers her, or nobody else is hurt, right?
Not really.
Yeah.
My feelings.
Besides that, something you can actually see.
Right.
So she's just gonna attack, just with her great axe.
Okay.
Because why not? 19?
19 hits, but you had advantage on that roll.
Oh, nat 20.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's 5, 10, 12. It's 2 d12s for crit?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did I say, 12? And then another 12. Ooh.
That's 24 total.
When
Yeah.
she critical hits, my little goblin ear is almost like a cat searching around. Like, spiritually, I feel she may be the chosen one.
Yeah, this thing, it's sort of just like hauling ass through the grass, and it's got its saber down in one side, not even trying to guard itself, and it comes upon you pretty quick. And where do you bury your axe in this one?
I guess as he is trying to come at me, I'm just gonna like dodge a little bit and then just go for his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And just be like, "Shit, I'm so sorry." Take it out.
It decapitates this guy. And both Icky and Gildan can see this, right? As Ellie just sort of, I don't know. I get the impression that she just kind of is accidentally deadly
Yes.
at this point.
And it's a dangerous animal.
Right. And this raider's head comes flying off, arcing over the grass and landing with a plop along the riverbank. The way between the rest of the party and Baloo is clear. You guys can see that there's a skirmish with at least 3 other raiders at the south gate. And you can also see that there are raiders that are crossing the river. Sort of the docks here is very open, and they are coming out of Trade Town, heading across the river back towards the pyramid. It looks like they're carrying bundles of something underneath their vehicles as they do that. Myrrh, what have you been up to these last few minutes?
Probably getting over to where Baloo is.
Okay.
Making sure he's not getting stabbed in the back by anyone while he's trying to figure out his fun new toy. Basically doing the backstabbing before he gets backstabbed.
Yes.
Essentially what she's going to be doing. Kind of keeping an eye on the raiders, making sure she doesn't get, body snatched.
Right. And then, so Baloo is on the vehicle. You have figured out how to make it go. And then you're trying to do what with it?
It's like cutting the grass. It's like lawn mowing as I'm moving along, right?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do whatever I did to make it go forward and do that a little more. And again, trying to aim it for these raiders. Like imagine like a grandma on like a little like motor cart thing, except that it's like a giant blade.
Right, except the whole front of it is a giant blade. Yeah. Sure, hover around with a plow. So what I'm going to need from you then, Baloo, is so you figured out the basics of the controls. Actually getting it to go where you want to go is going to be a dexterity check to move yourself. You get the impression that this thing is meant to be used with your whole body.
Yeah. I got 12.
All right. It's going in the vague direction of where you would like it to go. It's pointed in the general vicinity of an enemy, moving fast enough to hurt someone, but not like zooming.
Yeah, it's okay.
So where are you trying to like ram it into someone or just get up on them?
No, I want to try to ram it into someone. See what happens.
Okay. So you got a 12. Your 12 gets you within 2 feet of one, but these things make a high-pitched whine as well, right? Once it gets going, it's all you can hear. And so one of them sort of looks over its shoulder as it's fiddling around with this weapon that it's got, and just sort of as you're coming in for it, sidesteps out of the way and draws a saber to do battle with you.
Okay, all right. Baloo will be chuckling loudly.
And at this point, because you guys are almost sort of about to meet up, let's go ahead and roll initiative and get everyone in, just play the game that we're got going on here.
21 for Baloo.
21 for Baloo. Anybody beat a 21?
I got a 4.
I got a 13.
11.
13, 11. How about Ellie?
9.
All right, so it's going to be Blue, Icky, Myrrh, yes, and then Ellie, myself, and then Gildan. Blue, you're up first. Everyone is within at least 2 move actions. Those of you who are at the very, very back, you guys are about 2 move actions away to get in on where this is happening. So about 60 feet away. Baloo, it's this raider is right up on you.
Baloo has ridden enough large animals that he knows how to ride, and he knows that the front of this thing is dangerous, and he just stepped out of the way of it. He's gonna try to just like throw himself to one side and like move this thing with it, trying to like hit him with the front of it, like side to side.
Okay. Go ahead and make me another dexterity check.
Okay, so 16.
16 is enough to hit this thing. It's
All
not
right.
quite expecting you to have that kind of intuitive sense of it, and you swing its big old nose right into this guy. Go ahead and roll 2d6 for damage.
All right. Only 3. Shucks.
That's all right. You swing this thing around. It tries to jump back and just do something, try to like put its sword in front of it, anything to prevent the giant nose of this thing from cutting it in half. But you can see that you've ripped through the armored skin on its abdomen, and you otherwise have the nose of it pointed right at this guy. Icky, you are 2 move actions away.
All right, I have a quick question because I've never played a ranger before. So Hunter's Mark, he died before the spell ended, but it doesn't say whether it casts.
You can move it. You can use a bonus action to move it to another target for as long as you're concentrating on it.
Okay, so it's the same one then. It's not using up another. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
So whichever, since it has a range of 90 feet, whichever raider she first sees run past the entrance of the south side is like, that one doesn't even there's a blood spray as Ellie takes off that raider's head, and Icky's like, zoop, like those fucking raptors from Jurassic Park 2. It's straight through the
clever girl.
Yeah. Icky has also been practicing laughing, but doesn't want Gilda to know, so she actually tries it a little, and it is not enjoyable, so she's like and she's just boom, Hunter's Mark, and then goes and does 30 for a move action.
Okay. So whoever's close to Icky can hear a shriek of some kind as you make a beeline towards this.
Yeah.
You still have like if you want to like dash, you'd be like right up on it.
I would love to do that.
Okay.
I would love to.
Yeah, the three that are out here, initially they're sort of like their backs are to you.
Yes.
But they sort of like at the last minute sees you.
Yeah, and like as she's like running forward, like Skitter Step just like leaps, this giant centipede leaps out of her pack, and it's just like and just like as close to them as it can get.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Centipede.
All right, Myrrh, it's your go.
All right. So, question.
Yeah.
How is Dodvi doing? How's she looking, holding up?
She seems like you're kind of right up there with her. It looks like she took a wound early on. You can see a blood stain that she has sort of hastily have patched up on herself. But it hasn't seemed to diminish her fighting spirit, as she's got a short bow out, a clutch of arrows in one hand, and is just like picking off shots as she can.
Super wounded.
Not super wounded.
Okay.
There are some who are severely wounded around here. They're like in alleyways or in doorways, just trying to stay out of the way.
All right. Anybody like higher ranking than me that I don't like? No. Okay.
No.
All right. Yeah. Well, in that case, then I'll just keep shooting the raiders. My sitar bow. She's too healthy. It's fine. I'll just shoot the bad guys. It's cool. All right. That's gonna be a 16.
I like playing with you guys because I have a feeling like that at any moment it's just gonna be Murder Hobo City. Like, kind of already is a little.
We are going to be.
Feels a little dangerous.
I don't murder at random.
Yeah.
Principles. Sorry, what'd you get to hit?
16.
16 hits.
Okay. That'll be 6 points of damage.
Let's see, 6 points.
Just draws it, kind of makes like a strums the strings as she pulls the arrow back on the sitar and.
Yeah, you send your arrow flying out. It like hits one of them in the leg. It's just like looks down at it and then keeps going about its business. Let's see, just a second.
She'll keep moving closer to the group too.
Yeah, if you keep moving, you can pass through the. Like I said, they're trying to build a barricade, but at the same time, these guys aren't trying to get in, and so you're able to pass through to join the rest of your party. Ellie.
Okay, so can I maybe also help Myrrh?
Yeah, you're all pretty much right up in around the south gate together right now.
Cool. I swear on like everything, I got another nat 20.
Do you need to set up a dice cam?
I think I could do it.
All right.
Hold on. It's really messy here. But bear with me.
I wasn't serious.
Oh, I'm so serious. Look at that. Wait, there we go.
There you go. Nice.
There we go.
Excellent.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Not sponsored by D&D.
That's the real business.
I swear.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, so with the damage, okay, that's not bad. So that's 12.
12 damage.
And 6, 11.
Okay, so you were attacking the one that Myrrh had just shot as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you come in, then it shot in the leg, doesn't seem at all bothered by it, and then it sees you at the last minute and tries to block off your attack, but you kind of like overpower it and manage to get a good hit in.
Yeah, cool.
11 damage?
11, and then I said 12.
12.
It was
Yes.
Try to hit the body parts towards me, everyone in the party. Just try to.
right
throw
there.
limbs at you.
All right, it is my turn. So we have enemies in melee combat with Ellie and Baloo, and then one of them is and also Icky. So we've got three combatants. We'll start with Icky first. So you would come up on it. You transferred your spell so that it is marked by your hunter senses, and you were dual sickles. Yes. Coming up on it, and it takes its silver tubed weapon that it was fiddling with, and then uses it like a quarter staff to sort of like try to block you, duck under, and then attack you with the big blunt end of it. So that is what's trying to do. We'll see what happens. That is a 15 to hit. Does that hit, Icky?
Yes, it does.
And a critical fail for the second one. So its first attack, it like butts you in your soft Gila monster underbelly for 9. And then its second one, it tries to bring around the narrow part of this weapon and do something, and instead there's just a loud bang, and a large plume of smoke erupts, and nothing. It's just loud and there's smoke. That particular square that you're in is obscured for the moment. That was him. Baloo. Yes. This one has a saber out. And you can see as it's concentrating, it's sort of like keeping its weapon between you and the vehicle that you're in. And it, at the last minute, ducks under and is taking a swipe at the vehicle itself. And you're not sure what happens, but the vehicle does not appear to have been negatively affected by whatever it is that it tried to do.
Okay.
It's a big round of nothing happening. And Ellie, this one that you just hit is draws a saber as well. It's got like this tube thing that it throws on the ground, gets the saber out, and is trying to engage you in a duel. And that's going to be a 16 to hit.
Yep.
And a 15 to hit.
So the first one does hit. The first
one does hit. All right. There we go. And we've got some dice to roll. You're going to take 10 damage. 5 of that is psychic. As the sword that it has slices through flesh and ego alike.
Ouch.
Yes. That's the end of my turn. Other things are happening in Trade Town. You can see more of these guys zipping out of Trade Town with bundles of screaming citizens wrapped underneath them in crude nets, and they are making their way towards the pyramid. There is a group of more raiders forming a line outside of the pyramid as we speak. Gildan, it's your turn.
Ooh, lines are great. That way, right through all of them. With that said, if I move 30 feet towards the closest raider, how close would I be to him?
If you moved 30 feet towards the closest raider, you would be 30 feet from it.
All right.
You're trying to get up in melee?
Not just yet. Standing where I'm at, I'm going to cast another guiding bolt at the closest one. And not good, Jim. Not good. I got an 8. I don't believe I hit it. So I will use my bonus action to hide.
All right.
I also got an 8.
Oh my god. Well, Baloo did cut all the grass that was providing plenty of hiding spaces around here. You can blame him later, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, if I am 30 feet away, I'm going to move 30 feet back away, so I'm at least 60 feet away now.
Gotcha. Still trying to hide? Trying
to stay at range.
Gotcha. That's gonna Icky's next, and then after Icky, it's gonna be Mur's turn.
Well, Icky took that blow to the tummy and is like, "Oh no, I don't think I like this," and actually considers like vomiting as a reaction, but doesn't get any points for it, so chooses not to. And so she's just like, "Aha!" But like, and then Skitter Step is also gonna try and lay in. So.
Okay. So is Skitter Step helping you, or is it making an attack itself?
It is helping me.
Gotcha. So you'll have
it's
advantage.
Really just gonna like try and hold on to my arms and.
Gotcha.
Disgusting. Do I get advantage on both of them or just on one?
On both.
Okay, so one was a 12, but I guess I'm gonna... Okay. Thank you, Skitter Step. All right, so I got a 19 and a dirty 20.
Those are 2 hits.
All right.
2 solid hits.
Give me strength, tiny centipede. Oh, I'm rolling the wrong thing for damage. Why did I do that? I gotta switch to my other thing. Okay, 1d4.
1d4.
Where are you, 1d4? There you are.
Dun dun dun.
2 and 3 damage.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
All right. So you draw. You do like 2 draw cuts across it, and its armor's tough, but having rended it apart, you know the weak spots now, and get in 2 hits between the scaled outer bits of its armor.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you do? Oh, did you add your hunter's mark damage?
You're right. I didn't.
Mhm.
It's like Christmas. Oh, actually, 1d6. Okay. That's a 2.
Yeah.
But she like shrieks maniacally as she does it, just like. You're welcome.
Having a great time.
I'm having a delightful time. So like 7 damage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Altogether. Mur, it's your turn.
All right. So, how far away am I from the group at this point?
You're like 30 feet away from him.
Perfect.
Everybody's sort of mixed up. I think the only one that's more than 30 feet is Gildan.
Like 5 feet. Maybe 10 feet, but I'm 40 feet away so that they can't run up on me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna shoot with my bow again. Icky looks like she's having fun, so I'm gonna see if I can help out Baloo with the guy underneath his interesting contraption.
Yeah.
15?
15 is just barely gonna miss.
Okay. That's what I do.
All right. Ellie, it's your turn.
Can I try to aim at the same one?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. 14?
14's not going to hit.
Okay. And that's all I can do.
You're not raging, are you?
No, I wasn't.
Not yet. Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of connect with your axe, but its armor is it prevents the worst of it from taking injury.
Cool.
It is going to duck under your next swing and attempt to strike out at you again. And that's going to be a 6 to hit and a 23 to hit. And it slices you again with its ego damaging sword for another, this time 9 damage. 4 of it is going to be psychic. And then, let's see, Icky, you're tearing into this thing gleefully. and it sort of tries to pivot and come back at you with its weapon. Let's see. That is going to be 2 19s.
Oh no.
Much regret.
Oh no.
Right. The first one hits for 9, and the second one for 4.
Okay.
And then Baloo. This thing is like, whatever it was trying to do last round wasn't effective, and so is instead.
Did I get to go?
I think I might have. Did I skip you?
I think you did.
I think I did too. Next time you can go. What would you have done this time?
I would have continued my my crazy spiral and just started moving in a circle.
Go ahead and make that attack real quick before I go with it.
And then if I have an action, unless that is my action, if I have
that is your act. Trying to control this thing, it takes up most of your action.
Well, as a bonus action, I would cast Flame Blade and just like in one hand, just pull out like a giant flaming, just like waiting for the opportunity to see this guy on the ground.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack, and then I'll describe sort of what happens.
I got a 12 to hit for his giant metal chariot.
Yeah, it ducks out of the way, and as it sort of like ducks and rolls back underneath, it comes at you. You draw out your flame blade, and for a split second, you can see it hesitate. And Mur, you notice the same thing because you're sort of like firing at it. Baloo busts out this flaming scimitar sword or however it looks like. You can see for a brief moment this thing draw back and then reconsider what it was about to do, which is still going to attack you.
Yeah. That's fine.
But he thought about it now.
Yeah.
Right. And I got a 6 for one hit and a 23 for another.
23 hits.
And we've got, this is going to be 10 regular and 3 psychic, 13 total.
13, okay.
You can feel it. It hurts, like, emotionally.
Oh.
You know? It just brings up a bad memory.
Oh. I don't like that at all.
Am I done? Is that all my guys? I think I'm done. It's Gildan's turn.
I will unmute myself. And Gildan will take 10 steps towards the nearest raider and cast another guiding bolt. That would be a nat 1 to hit.
You want to sit this one out, Gildan?
And
Okay.
I will take a bonus action to hide. And I got a 15.
15 to hide. Another bolt of glorious energy flies off into the unknown. Poor Gildan.
Goes all the way through town, just keeps going all the way.
And I had that happen to me a few weeks ago, where it's like every attack I made was like less than 5, and it was just I had my character sit it out. It's like
I'm all right. I'm okay.
All right. Baloo, it is your turn. You're muted.
Sorry.
That's right.
Okay, so is it underneath the vehicle?
It's right to the side. It's like using the cumbersome nature of the vehicle to its advantage, trying to get at places that it's hard for you to reach back and get at.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep trying to position myself, and however I need to do it. I do have like a extra 5-foot reach, so if I need to, I'll just like stab.
So you're not trying to attack with the vehicle anymore?
No, I'm just going to let it go wherever it's going to go, and I'm going to reach out at him with old slashy.
Old slashy. Ashy slashy.
Do I still have inspirations? I think somebody gave me inspiration.
Yes, you do still have inspiration.
D6. Okay, that's better. 17? 17 to hit?
17 hits, yes. Spaced out a bit.
All right. Yeah, take 12 fire damage.
12 fire damage.
As I just rake it across him. It's get a little bit of the smell. You know, like maybe Icky, if you're paying attention, you might smell and know what it's gonna cook like. Yeah. There you go.
Blue Draw, you slash your sword across it, and you can see where it sort of cuts through the mesh armor and metal plates, that this deep, nasty red scorch mark, almost like immediately. I mean, you know, it's like if it's a flame blade, it's going to hurt, right? But this seems like it's an especially grievous wound to it, and it recoils from your attack. Do anything else?
Let's see. That would be. No, I don't think I have any other actions because I can't really. It takes an action to move the thingy.
Yes, it does.
With the metal chariot. So I think no for now.
There's a metal chariot. Yes. Icky. It's Icky's turn.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Icky's went from having
roughed up
delightful time to a very bad time. There's actually like that sort of like moment of like, oh.
It's a fair fight.
And so Icky's gonna go ahead and do a bonus action just real quick, and use Hungry Jaws, make a real quick special attack.
Okay.
And
what is Hungry Jaws? I don't think I know this one.
Make a special attack with your bite. If the attack hits, deals normal damage, and you gain temporary hit points equal to your Constitution modifier.
All right.
So we're going to do a bite real quick.
Snack.
Look. Icky's had a hard day.
Is Skitter's?
It's like an 11.
Is Skitter Step still helping?
Oh, snap! Yeah, totally still helping.
All right.
Jazzing me up. Icky's had a hard day.
She's having a tough day.
So Icky does a bite, and then Icky does a leave.
All right. Are you bugging out?
Yes.
All right.
We're just gonna like slip back into that long grass like.
I got a 15 to hit you as you run away.
This is a bad day.
But it's 7 damage.
Oh, this is a bad day.
Is it a bad day?
Yeah, Icky's gonna do a nap.
Okay. So those of you not like engaged in melee combat immediately can see this, that Icky has got the worst of it, tries to run away, and then collapses in the grass.
Icky going to a sleep real quick. Just real quick.
Just a quick dirt nap. It's fine.
Just a quick one. It's just a little. It's not like you're in a party with a bard, a cleric, and a druid.
Yeah, Icky's just gonna be like, this grass looks soft. I didn't want to fight today.
It is Myrrh and then Ellie's turn.
Magic? I don't have magic. What is this?
What is this?
How far away is Icky?
She's about 30 feet away.
Okay. Myrrh's gonna kind of facepalm again. Run over to Icky. Kind of look at the lizard, be like, well, maybe she won't try to eat me if I help her out. And so, I'm also gonna look at like probably the sad centipede just kind of crawling around and be like, fine. And then she's gonna basically, like try to heave Icky back up, like, you are fine. This is just a flesh wound. It will heal very quickly. You just wake up. Just kind of like slap the the lizard face. But really, she's casting Cure Wounds.
All right.
And we will cast it at 2nd level. So
there we go.
That is how many is it D6s or D8s?
D8s, yeah.
D8s. Okay.
It's the little things that you forget.
It is. All right. No, it's at least 2. Okay, so that's not bad. Plus my spellcasting ability modifier. Yes. Okay, you're gonna heal for a decent bit. That is 13 plus 3. 13 plus 3, 16.
Nice.
Yeah, I got rolled really well.
Getting those slaps in the face is like, just like Brood Mother used to make. I'm home.
All right, that was.
And then I'm gonna hide behind Icky because there's still a melee person up.
There still is, yes. They are right there. Ellie.
So Ellie's hurting real bad as well.
Yeah.
She's not having the best day. After throwing up and now lots of ouches. She's gonna rage as soon as she just feels that the last hit.
Mm-hmm.
She just sees a lot of blood, which she didn't notice before, and then she's just gonna look back, and that like kind of innocent face that she had, she's just gonna be like just fire in her eyes. So she's gonna rage, and
Nice.
she's gonna recklessly attack.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's not gonna hit.
Oh no.
Oh wait, with advantage?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's 19.
Yes, 19 will hit.
Cool beans. And then her great axe. So that's 7
7.
points of damage.
All right. I mean, the guy you're fighting is seriously wounded. He's bleeding from several major wounds. But you notice like that this hasn't seemed to like slow it down any. It doesn't even seem to mind whenever you land a really telling blow on it.
Okay. Noted.
Ignores the pain. That makes it. Ellie, do anything else? Yeah, that is my turn. So you can see, for one, your dungeon master apologizes that there were 9 NPCs who could have assisted you guys in your favor. They've been firing into melee and attempting, but seeing Icky go down and Ellie kind of getting the worst of it for around about 3 of them take up spears and axes and rush past the barricade that they're at to assist you guys in melee. And we'll go NPCs first and then the enemies. So for the ones on Icky, let's see, that's going to be 1 hit as one of the orc wrestlers from earlier approaches with a short spear that it's carrying in its hand and stabs out and attacks the one that Icky was fighting. The other one for Ellie is a hobgoblin with another axe. So I guess the 2 of you are gonna chop this guy down like a tree. That hits. And then Baloo, another orc, comes over to assist Baloo in its attack. And so as all this is going on, y'all are fighting. You guys are sort of right on the edge of the city. You can see sort of what's going on through one of the open doors of the gates. You can see what's going on along the river as the raiders leave the city. You can hear a great big commotion of some kind coming from inside. There's a lot of shouting. It's pretty clear that some of the wardens of Trade Town are capable of incredible feats of shape-shifting, things like that. It's probably what you hear in there. But outside, as you fight a desperate struggle, the raider that was on Icky instead fights the orc that has come up to it. The 2 of them are now battling. The one that is on Ellie sort of looks at its 2 assailants and instead takes a defensive posture instead of attacking. And then the one on Baloo looks at Baloo with its flaming blade and looks at the other orc that has arrived and winks out of existence, and you don't know where it went. Gildan, it's your turn.
All right. It's my final first spell slot. Guiding Bolt! A 16.
16 hits.
All right. That's 20 points of radiant damage. And that Mamma Jamma is glowing now. And I'm using my bonus action to make a glorious, hideous hag puppet appear next to it, wielding a comical, oversized warhammer. And with advantage, is attacking that punk for nat 20.
All right.
24 to hit.
Good
Double
gracious.
damage.
You
Nice.
were saving
Finally.
it up, Kelvin.
And all right, that's 14 points of I believe additional radiant damage. And then I'm just I can't. I've already used Fury of the Small. Because that would,
Yes.
and I am just charging towards this person now, full force, all 30 feet I can move.
So this was the one that was fighting Icky, or the one that was fighting Ellie?
Whoever was closest.
I think Icky was the one that was closest. Your guiding bolt lights it up, and your hag doll bludgeons it again into a just an oozy paste in the grass. It's sort of a smeary, greasy red stain after your magic is done with it. That was impressive.
Raider pudding for dessert.
Let's see. There we go. That was Gildan. Baloo, it's your turn. So attacking with this thing uses your action, but to just use it as a conveyance, then you just, it's as simple as just twisting here and leaning here and that kind of thing.
Careful not to hit the orc that came up to help. I'm going to I'm just going to say to him, like, right? Isn't this great? And then I'm going to, like, shift
He's feeling it, right? Like,
Okay,
he's
good,
an orc. He's like, this is excitement. It's combat. He's alive.
So it looks like there's one visually, at least, remaining opponent.
Correct. Yes.
And so he's going to turn it, and still with the sword in the air, he's going to try to, like, rush towards the last opponent.
All right. So it's in combat with both Ellie and another I think a hobgoblin, but it's you're at disadvantage because it is dodging.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try not to hit anybody else. Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
What you got?
I got a 5.
5.
Mhm.
Yeah, 5's not going to cut it. And
Just, like,
so,
bump him in the back.
but you commented wrong. You've got your sword in one hand, this conveyance in the other, and as you ride up on it and take a slash at it, it does the same thing. You can see its gaze lingers on your weapon for a little bit longer, and it turns to face Baloo as the primary threat at this point, not the murderous raging barbarian, not the orc trying to take it out, but you. Any other action?
No.
Okay. Icky.
2 questions first.
Yep.
When I went down, my concentration on Hunter's Mark is broken?
Correct.
Okay. Second question. Is Icky dipping her talon in the paste and tasting it a free action, or are you going to make me pay for that?
I think that sounds like a free action. It seems like you've pilfered a lot of treats that way, probably.
She's definitely going to give it just like a small taste and be like, okay. And then if she could see whoever Ellie's fighting?
Yes.
Yes. Boop, boop. Like it never happened. It just whoop.
Gotcha.
And how close is that to me? Is that going to be like a whole move?
It's a move. It's like a move. Y'all are all right up on each other.
I would love to wander over there and then just like do the sideys.
Gotcha. This guy's surrounded by 4 people now. Everybody will have advantage to hit him as long as it's.
I would love to do one scythe and use it to try and hook into his body and pull him close enough to bite.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, that is a dirty 20 on that scythe. Where's my D4? Where is it? Oh, found it. That's a 5. And then for biting, make my unarmed strike.
Yeah.
That is a 21.
21 hits.
And piercing damage, 1d6 plus my strength.
Where are you trying to bite him?
She's gonna hook that scythe into one side of his neck and pull it so that she can bite into the other side of his neck. And so that is a 5 plus my strength modifier, which is a 1, which is 6 damage for that.
Yeah, you bring this guy in, hook, line, and sinker. Chomp down and just crunch through mesh and armor and into that jaundiced flesh underneath. It's dry. It needs a sauce, and you can feel it sort of like struggle as you.
Yes, please struggle.
You've got it in your jaws.
You got it. Just. She's just like jerking her head back and forth like a crocodile.
It's Mur's turn.
And I'm like standing right behind her as this is going on.
Look, I'm not gonna like toot my own horn over it or anything, but it's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I imagine there's like some splatter from like the jugular a little bit that kind of gets Mur, and she's just like.
I want to assume she's making like creepy raptor noises too, so she's just like. Like the guards are just standing there like, oh my god. What have we done?
Whoa.
Well, if that's the case, then Mur is gonna just kind of just sigh again. Like, just these people. How did I get caught up in all this?
You did this.
Glad, though, that the raptor is between her and the villain. She's gonna pull out a dagger and just kind of like go up on the other side and like shank him in the kidney.
Yeah, just hold him there so she could just like
You sink your dagger deep. It's not even. He's basically helpless in Icky's jaws between Baloo and the rest of you, Ellie.
It's like an African safari.
Right.
His little legs are just like he's like a rag doll.
And Mur puts it out of its misery.
Yes.
And a brief calm
and as I
descends.
pull the dagger out, I kind of want to wipe it off on whatever Icky's wearing and just kind of tuck it back in.
Icky will appreciate that, actually.
What does Icky wear?
Icky wears like a braided leather harness that she made herself. It doesn't look like really anything like a leather harness should make. It really just looks like an epileptic child put it together.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's fair enough.
Got lots of little teeth and sticks and stuff in it. It's great.
Right. So Mur puts this raider out of its misery, and you can hear the sickening crunch of bones as Icky goes about her grim business, and a brief moment of calm descends upon the southern gate for a moment. The other defenders, along with Dodvi, rush out of the gate, and they sort of are peering at the grass, looking to see if there are perhaps any stragglers or someone around. And for the most part, everything's calmed down a bit. You can still hear commotion coming from inside Trade Town.
Can I pretend to look for stragglers as well, but I'm actually looting bodies?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Can I openly loot bodies?
You can openly loot bodies, certainly.
I'm just kidding. I'm still eating this right here.
Okay. How about everyone else?
Well, Baloo will kind of loudly and cheerily say, Does anybody want to ride on this thing? It's great.
I do.
Ellie.
I'm right in the moment. I'm looking for the stragglers.
Yeah, I jump on.
Yeah, excellent. In which case, he's kind of like stopping and starting, and start moving it towards it down.
It's like you're trying to use a manual transmission, and you've never really done that before.
Absolutely, that's very similar.
Okay, so Baloo and Ellie are about to go on a bit of a joyride. How about Gildan?
I haven't seen anyone else exit Trade Town making a break for it.
Not from the southern gate.
Okay.
No. If you do want to kind of like join in the search and make like a dedicated search of it, you might find something different.
That's what I am doing.
Okay.
Gonna get to the bottom of this caper.
Okay. So are you going to search the grass for any stragglers? Are you going to go into Trade Town or something else entirely?
I let out a loud whistle. My hag puppet floats up beside me, and we are going into Trade Town and attempting to make some raider sandwiches.
Okay. Gildan's heading inside. Baloo and Ellie are on a bit of a joyride. Icky and Mur are looting bodies. Let's see what you guys find with these bodies. So, Icky, make me an insight check as you're feasting.
$13.
13. There's a you're chomping down on a shoulder or nibbling on a bicep, and you notice that that was a much bigger bite than you took out of this thing as you go back for seconds. And briefly, if you stop a second, you can see its wounds knitting itself back together on the one that you're eating.
Even after death.
Correct. And then this time, Mur, you're trying to loot, and there's like one of the dead ones nearby, and as you are approaching it, it winks right out of existence and is just not there. The blood stain where it was is still there. But the one that was mashed to a pulp by Gildan just disappears.
All right. Can I low-key cast Detect Magic to see if it's just invisible or if it's, just gone? Poof.
Yeah, you can do that, yeah.
Okay. Cross off that spell slot there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You can see the faintest traces of planar type magic, conjuration magic, in the spot where it was, just the wisps that are fading into the ether of traces of some kind of planar conjuration magic.
Interesting. I loot faster. Or they disappear. That may be kind of a fun sort.
Would Icky think with her number 9 intelligence, would Icky think to check her knapsack to see if the scales are still there? If she's seen any of these disappear? Has she seen any of them disappear?
Yeah, you've seen one or two of them disappear.
Would she think to check for the scales that she harvested?
Well, that's up to you. If you're that kind of person, Icky seems like she might be.
Yeah, her investment is in danger.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to just drop the little ragdoll body and immediately check for her money makers and
yeah, the trophies and snacks that you took.
Yeah.
They're still there.
Nobody sees her, but she's kind of
so those of you who are the two of you who are looting, what you're just looking for whatever's on the ground. We were hoping to get some of the bodies.
I
Because
was
they have
hoping,
dropped weapons.
Yeah.
There are several weapons along the ground over here.
I was hoping to harvest bone and hide so I can use a cunning artisan later.
Gotcha.
Mara's looking for weapons, and now that she gets a residue of that planar magic, maybe anything that could indicate what plane they came from.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's bits of armor that have fallen off of them. There are, I believe, 2 of the sabers nearby, as well as one of those tubular weapons. And Dodvi, at this point, Mur can see that Dodvi is approaching her, and with a look of concern and sort of determination on her face. I thank you for arriving when you did. I'm not sure why they didn't try to force the gates. I'm worried that this was just a distraction. And you can see Dodvi kind of looking around at whoever else is still in the area. Real quick, where did Baloo fly his thing off to?
As soon as Ellie jumped on, Baloo would gleefully move into Trade Town.
Okay, so sort of like alongside where Gildan is.
Yeah, and taking a taking a move action, but also just like another action to try to make sure he knows what he's doing and how to move it. Gotcha.
Moving deliberately and carefully.
Yes.
So it's just Iki and Mur out there then. Yeah. Dodvi is, she sort of shares her concerns briefly with Mur.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking prisoners.
Very disconcerting indeed. I saw them take any stragglers, people just wandering about. It was unusual, to say the least.
Yes, agreed.
Are you all right? I noticed you were a bit injured.
She looks down. Oh yes, something hit me early on, quite painful, but I'll be fine.
Good.
I think that we should move back into the city, Mur. I feel exposed out here, but the city is not even refuge.
Agreed. I will meet you there in about a few moments. I will gather who is here and head inside.
Okay. And she motions to a few of the combatants that she brought with her, and they move in to Trade Town behind Gildan, Ellie, and Baloo. It's like 2 other dudes out here. They're like not really paying attention.
Yeah. Basically, I just was looking for an excuse to loot longer and then meet up inside with her later.
There are still 3 of the vehicles nearby,
okay, yeah,
sort of hidden in the grass.
Hop on one of those.
Okay.
Does gathering everyone include gathering Icky, or y'all just gonna leave Icky on the plains to suck the marrow out of rapidly regenerating?
I'll finish everything to give her time to suck some marrow, and then I'll be like, "Oh, we should probably head back inside."
Icky immediately follows you without question.
Okay.
Mur looks a little surprised, but goes with it.
So you guys look me in. Those of you who entered in first, Gildan, Baloo, and Ellie, the streets ahead of you are just a wreck. The sandstorm that had come through has deposited about somewhere between 6 inches to a foot of sand just on the streets. It's piled up against doors and windows and everything. The southern gate leads almost directly into the market. It passes by the dockside to your left. To the right is sort of the orcish enclave where the orcs in Trade Town stay and conduct their business. And then directly ahead of you is the market that you can see is just a wreck. Tents have been blown over. There's just chaos. You can see, just a second, that there are lone raiders, sometimes in pairs, sort of stalking between the buildings. Some of them have captives in nets, and others of them look like that they are hunting down particular captives. You guys are just on the inside of the south gate.
How close am I to the nearest raider?
To the nearest raider, let me see. You are about a move action away from the closest raider. There's a pair of them not too far away from you. It looks like they are putting a hobgoblin into a net.
All right. Well,
both of them are dismounted.
Follow me, Baba Mini, and like we're gonna move up and sidle up to a raider and wombo combo that thing where I attack with my warhammer. And geez Louise, that may hit. I got an 11 to hit with my warhammer and then a 16 to hit with my floating heck puppet.
Spiritual weapon hits.
Okay, cool. It helps if I roll up here. 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
7 points of bludgeoning damage as your spiritual weapon attacks it. They seem surprised at resistance and drop what it is that they're doing and draw weapons to retaliate. However, they're not quite quick enough. We'll go in same sort of rough initiative order. That was Gildan. It's going to be Baloo's turn.
So, Baloo's coming in. He noticed that fire seemed to kind of
yes.
They didn't like fire.
They did not.
Which makes him kind of want to set everything on fire. Not sure if he's going to do that just yet, because he's got a lot of other things going on. But it crosses his mind. It's like, if we just set the whole place on fire, then they're not going to come over here.
Most of the buildings are made of like mud, like adobe style. There's plenty of wood around here. But...
Okay, all right. Oh, then he puts it out of his head. There's just not enough.
Okay.
But if he sees a pair of them, he's going to just try to ram him, maybe as fast as he can. Not sure if that's safe, but we're gonna see what happens.
Okay.
Ellie, hold on. Let's do it.
And then okay, so Baloo, give me a dexterity check to see if you can pilot this thing as fast as you can into them.
19.
19 is going to hit.
Right.
And this thing's big enough to get both of them. Let's see. So it does 2d6 damage plus an additional 2 per 10 feet that you move up to it. So you were, let's see, that was 30 feet away, so it'll do 2d6 plus 6.
Plus a flat 6?
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right. 9 plus 6, so 15.
15.
Just getting dirty.
Right. So you fly over Gildan's head, and it's a good thing that Gildan is so short because you otherwise might have hit him. As you plow this thing right into it, you're kind of out of control, and you slam it into the building that's kind of behind where they were. But you just knock them both on the ground. You can see that it's like a strike, right? Yeah. And that's kind of your turn, unless you have a bonus action.
No, not currently.
Okay. We're going to skip over Icky and Mur for a second, assuming y'all are still kind of looting, and we'll go with Ellie.
Cool. So she's kind of getting whatever this is, the rage, down a little bit, and she's going to use her last rage. And as soon as Baloo just hits them, she's going to jump up and then take out her axe while still in the air, and then just kind of charge at them.
Yeah.
Okay. They're prone, so you'll have advantage on that.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, thank God.
And like
nope,
I think you probably are still raging from the last time, yeah? Like you were raging, you hopped on.
I think rages, if you're not in combat. Like
yes, gotcha.
Yeah, but even with advantage, I do not hit.
Oh no!
The first one I got a nat 1. The second time I got a 2.
Gotcha. Rough round. Some dirt got in your eye. But you land sort of menacingly over it and bring your axe like right down next to its head. That sucks. It's my turn. The two of them, taken by surprise and not expecting this kind of resistance, as they've seemed to have had the run of the place for a couple minutes now, they instead draw their weapons and attempt to attack. They are staying away from Baloo. Are not really going towards him. One of them is going to attack Gildan. That is a 16 and a 9. 2 misses. And then the one that's under Ellie is instead going to try to sort of pushes himself underneath your legs and stands up behind you and is gonna try, you know what? He is gonna try to grapple you, as foolish as this sounds, because you're right there. And I don't think it knows exactly what it's dealing with yet. So I got a 17 to grapple.
Okay, I have the grapple feat that I don't think I've ever used. But boy, did it just come in handy. Let me look for it, because I don't remember.
Yeah, go ahead and look real quick.
Scroll.
And it's going to be Gildan's turn if you want to keep... Go ahead and get that going while we resolve this.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, awesome.
I have advantage on attack rolls. Okay. Hold down. Yeah, you have advantage on attack rolls against a creature you are grappling. You can use your action to try to pin a creature grappled by you.
Mm-hmm.
So make another grapple check. If you succeed, you and the creature are both restrained until the grapple ends.
Mm-hmm.
So
in this case, you have advantage to resist its grapple attempt.
Cool. Should I roll?
Yeah, you gotta beat a 17.
11. Oh wait, with advantage, right?
Yes, with advantage.
Just kidding. 11.
So it's not nearly as strong as you are, but it is athletic and lithe, and you can feel it like come up behind you and like wrap its arms around yours, trying to get that great axe away from usefulness. Gildan, you see all this. This machine has come in over your head, and now there's a big fight.
Well. So, are there still raiders attacking me? I believe so.
Yes, one.
Okay, so on that one, I am attacking it with my Warhammer first.
Mm-hmm.
Critical freaking hit.
All right.
Yes. So that is a 15.
Share the love, Grant.
Bludgeoning damage.
Nice.
Is it still up?
It's staggered, but still up.
All right. Well, a nat 1 to hit it with my hag weapon. So we've seen the best and the worst of Gildan in one round. Woo!
Very good. Very good. Tour de force. Baloo, it's about to be your turn. For Myrrh and Icky, if you're done looting, you can move into the city this round.
Can I move in on one of the flying daggers?
Yes, you can.
Cool.
You'll have to make me a dexterity check for that. Baloo, what are you up to?
Baloo's going to roll his fat ass off this dagger thing now that it's stopped.
Mm-hmm.
21.
And he's literally just going to like roll over and then like pick himself up like the gorilla he is. And using his reach, he's going to take a swipe at the one grappling Ellie.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to hurt. 12.
12's going to miss.
Although, do you get any special attack against somebody who's grappled or grappling? No?
Nah, if it was restrained, you would. But grapple is just, they can't move. can't use certain weapons, that kind of thing.
Okay.
All right, but the two of you are now attacking this creature 2-on-1.
Yes.
So that's that. Icky, you're next.
Yeah, Icky weighs 350 pounds, so she's probably not getting on one of the flying daggers. So
it was like riding low when Baloo was on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mer would have done low enough so that Icky could keep up.
Okay.
Just kind of like putts in next to.
Yeah. I mean, Icky still moves with purpose, but it's like not gonna be. And every once in a while, she actually like puts her hand on the back of it and kind of like, just like.
We need to get you some wheels, and then you could, hold on to the back with a rope, and I can pull you.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, and so she's just gonna come back into the city, follow Mer back into the city.
Okay, so you can either get up into melee with the rest of them by using like a dash, or you can, you'll be about 30 feet away if you just use your regular move.
Oh yeah, that looks like a super unfair fight. So I would love to get up in there.
Okay.
And if you said so, it's about 60 feet away from me.
It's about, yeah.
So can like Skitter Step like attack from that? If I get up on them?
Yeah, Skitter Step can.
I would love.
It's basically like
Skitter
using
Step.
you as a mount.
Yes, which is great. Because it's like probably like crawled up to the top of her head, and as she gets close enough, it's just like ha onto the most wounded one because it smelled the meat.
Yes, that would be the one that Gildan is fighting.
Yes, that one.
All right, you can have Skitter Step make an attack.
Yeah, Skitter Step's gonna make that attack. I think it's a +5. Ugh, it's a 12.
12. 12 misses. It's tough. That's a tough armored hide there.
Yeah.
Mer, you got a 21 for the so you watched Baloo. You're much more graceful than Baloo is as well. And you control this of this vessel.
All right. Is there anybody up that's not like in the super unfair fight that I can run over with this thing?
Yeah, you see raiders rushing past, some of them on foot, some of them on other vehicles.
Just going to lawnmower them.
Okay.
With the ones on foot. Just...
Gotcha. So if all you do with that 21 is try to take one of them out, then that's going to be 21 is going to hit.
Okay.
And it's going to be 2d6 plus what, 12? Yeah.
Sure. That sounds like a good number.
2 per 10 feet moved. And so Mers like zooms into the city and
21 points of damage.
21 points of damage, like just knocks one of them down into the dirt.
Nice.
And you're now the furthest ahead. You can get a really good view of the marketplace.
Okay.
You can see merchants and vendors still trapped in the rubble from when the wind came in and knocked all this everything down. You can also see the Drow embassy. The recently constructed, newly moved in Drow embassy is sort of a point of resistance. You can see like arrow fire coming out of the windows, and the Drow don't really care about this whole no spell casting, like no arcane casting thing, and they are using all of their arcane might to form a cluster of resistance around this tower where they're at.
Cool. She's just gonna kind of smile a little. Her pointed teeth are gonna just be glistening a little bit.
Ellie, it's your turn.
I think I still need to roll to not be grappled. Right?
Correct. Yes.
Man.
But you have advantage on.
No.
Are you sure? Because I got a 7.
Because I got a 6.
Oh. So it's like you slap fight with him. There's an attempt to get out, and he's like, no, not so fast. And so you're still grappled. If you have like a smaller weapon, you'll be fine, or you can attack with like the butt of your great axe for say d6 damage.
Yeah, I have a javelin.
That works.
Okay. Should I roll to hit with that one instead? Or for the next one?
You were trying to escape the grapple.
Yeah.
And you do anything else other than try to escape it? I keep forgetting y'all are 3rd level as well. I don't know why. We only just started.
Just level up, bro.
Right, just in mid-combat.
I mean, I guess as I'm kind of wiggling, I could try to like push my great axe behind. So I'm assuming he's like this.
Yeah,
so
he's
like
sort of like right behind you.
This. So kind of turn my great axe and then.
It's an awkward way to attack. You'd be at disadvantage with that.
Yeah. Seeing how I'm rolling, it doesn't hurt to try.
Gotcha.
Ew. Yeah, no.
Gotcha.
That's
No. And so that makes it my turn. This group that you're fighting with, the ones in the street, the one that Mur just ran over, this is all just sort of part of a big chaotic mess that's inside the city. There is the one that's grappling Ellie. You can see as it lets you go and like ducks underneath where your axe was and ducks underneath the flaming blade of Baloo, and like all the others, as soon as it kind of like gets out of your immediate range, it just winks right out of existence. It's there 1 second, gone the next. And similarly with the other one that you were fighting, there is this moment where it kind of considers the situation and decides that discretion is the better part of valor and retreats into the ether. You find yourselves alone on the street.
It doesn't take skitter step with it, does it?
It does not take skitter step with it.
Yeah, Icky just like...
Skitter step sort of like falls to the ground. You find yourself briefly alone as Dodvi and the rest of the Southern Gate defenders arrive on the scene, and there's just like the 9 of y'all in the middle of the road. We'll take a brief minute. We'll drop for briefly out of initiative and let you guys take stock of the situation.
Baloo would share his insight. He would say, guys, I don't think they like fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so set them on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Few things enjoy being burned.
Sure.
No, but like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You said when Mar cast Dissonant Whispers, she kind of got a glimpse into the mind. What did you glimpse? What was that?
You probably run across some weird stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a feeling, when you use spells that deal psychic damage, it does let you connect briefly with the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a sense of a vast interconnectedness when you touched its mind, of a sense of, like a hive mind of a sort.
Okay. All right. Well, if we make a big enough fire, I believe they might be a bit connected. Then we should be able to scare them off, perhaps.
I can make big fires.
Okay.
I could try, but I'm not feeling very good, and I don't think it's a good idea to fight anything else. Can I just go nap?
Are you still like heavily wounded?
Yeah, I'm at 2 hit points.
Oh. Okay.
Dodvi, seeing this as well, takes out a gourd with a stopper in it and hands it to Ellie. It's like you need this more than I do. And
what is this?
It's 100% invested in this.
All right. It smells sweet. like fruit juice.
Ooh, yeah, she just downs it.
Okay, it's sweet. It's got notes of honey. And
it's a sleep potion, and we're gonna cook her now. Yes.
Oh, I thought it would take so much longer before it got here. It's a healing potion. It's what it was. 2d4 plus 2.
Cool.
Icky's just like sniffing her as she drinks this healing potion, and then is like immediately loses interest. Like, oh, okay.
Could Mur have also been like, I'm thinking about the fire, like zoom over a little bit, yell in Elven to the Drow embassy. I'll be like, they do not like fire.
You see out of the second story window, Yazalin is one of the. She's the leader of the Drow delegation here, the official ambassador to Trade Town, and she yells out and, Mur, it's good to see you. I'm glad to see that you weren't carted off like these others.
Of course not. I am more clever than that.
So fire is it? Yes.
Yes.
We will make a note and concentrate our efforts. Have you seen who they're taking?
Everyone. Anyone straggling or left about? They're not picky.
If we cannot retake the city, we will retreat up the river. You should join us.
I will consider it.
And then they... She's happy to chat. She's behind a wall in a tower. That kind of thing.
Mur's just kind of like, this is fine. It's cool. It's whatever. They're both nonchalant. Which direction is up the river? Like, is it north, south, east?
It's north. So
North?
the Drow are from up the River Horn, which is to the northwest.
Sweet. So kind of near that portal. Cool.
Yes, you'd have to pass right by the portal to get there. So while that's going on, we'll play with some loose initiative here, some loose rounds. The spiritual weapon is still going. So you guys have, in your immediate vicinity, you don't see any enemies. You are on the very southern edge of the marketplace, just past the Orcish Enclave. The Drow Embassy is sort of right in front of you. The marketplace is right in front of you. You can hear a lot going on. And the sounds of battle coming from where the Fellowship's garden are particularly fierce.
I'm going to cast the light cantrip on my shield.
Okay.
Make it bright and illuminated. Now, and if things happen to be invisible, that doesn't mean they don't cast shadows. So I'm kind of panning and scanning with it as I begin patrolling through the streets, warhammer in hand, floating Judy hag puppet kind of circling about, and I'm whistling a goblin whistle, attempting to lure raiders towards me.
Okay.
Should they be about,
correct. And anyone joining Gildan?
You know what? Icky will follow Gildan just because, like, she sees like this kind of hunting atmosphere, and she's hungry again, man. Like,
ride or die.
no, we ain't cool like that. But
burn! Now who burns easily from the fire?
Oh
no!
All right. Yeah, Icky's just gonna like kind of like sullenly look at the group and like. Icky will follow him, and just like kind of after Gildan, all 350 pounds of her.
If I feel her eyes on me, that hag is watching her. You know, just kind of like, nah.
I'm not gonna lie, it actually kind of creeps her out. So,
you don't want to get. You just don't want to find yourself alone with Icky, I imagine.
No.
All right.
Soft skin.
Oh. So Icky and Gildan are patrolling, looking for raiders. Mur was talking to the Drow. How about Baloo and Ellie?
What do you say, Ellie?
I mean, I'll just follow your lead, but I feel way better after drinking this like honey thing. And she still kind of like the bottle, see if there's any left.
Yeah, it looks like there's probably more in there. It's a big, just sort of like hollowed out gourd.
Oh, cool, yeah. After chugging it, yeah.
Okay.
Last little drop.
If you chug it again, you can get like you'll finish it, but you can get like an extra dose of the potion.
Oh, would that be another?
2d4 plus 2.
Oh. Oh man, more health.
Does the flying chariot, does it still function? The one that I crushed?
It's stuck. You're gonna have to get it out. It looks functional. It's still whining, kind of gives you a headache when you look at it, but it's stuck in the side of this adobe building.
Do you need help with this?
Yeah, let's pull this thing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just do the thing.
Between drinking the health potion and spending the rest of your turn getting this thing out, you can get it, climb back on it. That's about all you can do if that's what you're doing, but
Okay.
that's what you'll have.
All right. We're back to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is, let's see real quick. As you guys are on the southern edge of the market, you can hear people screaming, crying for help from the debris. And Gildan, will you ignore their cries, or are you keeping an eye out for instead keeping an eye out for raiders?
I'm going towards where the crying is.
Okay. You hear you've got your goblin whistle, and one of them you can hear whistle back in the same sort of tune from one of the collapsed tents.
Well, there's tempted to set the tent on fire. If they're benign, they'll come out really quick, and if they're not, they'll burn.
Wow.
All right.
Just listening to him say that, and it's like, yeah.
Pull it out. I'm grabbing the tent and I'm pulling it and trying to uncover whatever's underneath. Now, if there's something trapped inside, I'm just belting out show tunes of the desert, trying to get this thing out there.
Yeah, as you get closer, you can hear the voice. Maybe you recognize, maybe you don't. It's Hobgoblin's voice. Enoch from earlier. Help! The pole is pinned my back. He's sort of like, you can see a hand poking out from underneath the tent and is sort of like waving to you and trying to get your attention.
All right. I'm going to attempt to aid and assist and ascertain the damage that is done.
Okay.
Izzy's gonna look around for a bone saw.
Gotcha. There's the scrap traders had things like that, not too far from here. If you help, you can easily pull. You're able to find where the tent has fallen on Enoch and sort of assist him as he crawls out from underneath it, covered in dirt and sweat.
Yeah,
and,
okay, I'll do that.
And he gets up and thanks you. Thank you. It's Gildan, is it?
Yes. I am Gildan, son of Bakai, he who is called Wise.
I've heard your name in the wastes. Thank you, Gildan. Owe you a debt.
Yes. And I have made a record of it.
You owe us a leg is what you owe us.
One day, and that day may never come, where I will ask you for a favor.
Icky kind of like reaches down and kind of taps his calf to see if the leg is like damaged enough.
My leg is fine, lizard, but perhaps we could find you one that's more suitable. I will have whatever you need so that you don't take mine. And Enoch is there. You know, he's kind of missed this whole thing. He was trapped in the initial sandstorm.
I'm bringing him up to speed. The raiders have come. They're taking captives. They're a hive mind, vulnerable to flame. Metagame, blah blah blah. And like,
blah.
yeah, no, yeah. And I'm bringing them
this
up.
cutscene.
Yeah. If every time Gildan talks, everyone in the party just hits skip the cuts.
Yeah, just holds A down. Like,
Right. That's too bad it's not a Final Fantasy
wander
game.
Still in earshot, but like check other areas, but still stay in earshot.
Most of the people here are vendors and merchants who were trapped in that initial sandblast that came through the city. Most of them are alive. Many of them are injured. But you do find some that met unfortunate accidents as you go through the marketplace. The din and calamity of the attack has started to die down, and you see sort of brief sort of flashes of raiders as they're leaving the city, but in your immediate surroundings here in the central market, you don't really see any other threats. Even the drow have stopped firing out of their tower and have quieted down there. There still seems to be about some kind of noise or something coming from the Fellowship Garden, less intense than it used to be. What's Merv been up to?
Well, after having just a casual chat in the middle of battle with, some of her drow cousins.
Totally normal.
Yeah, she'd probably not see many raiders in the immediate premise because they're kind of dying out. So she'll go over to like the vendors, some of them that are trapped, and the ones that are like have given her the best discounts or would be, most profitable to owe her a favor. She's gonna go save them first.
Gotcha. There are plenty of people like that.
Yeah.
And Dodvi and the rest of the posse that she's formed do something similar. As y'all are helping the vendors and picking through the rubble, what were Baloo and Ellie doing? Because y'all had just gotten the flying chariot out, gotten back on it. Are y'all going hunting or what's up?
Unless Ellie objects, Baloo would say the Fellowship can help us. They can help you, Ellie. So let's go see if they're dead.
Yeah, whatever works.
Okay. Then he'd make a beeline for the Fellowship Gardens.
Okay. You're trying to get there in a hurry, or are you taking your time?
Probably trying to get there in a hurry.
Okay. In that case, I'll need a dexterity check.
Okay.
From both of us, or just
him? Unless you want to try to drive and Baloo can ride.
No, I'm good. No pressure.
I got 16.
That's fine. Yeah, you're getting the hang of it, right? You lean this way, shift this way. You zip through the market, past your new allies as they're picking through the rubble, and get to the edge of the garden that the Fellowship of Andrus maintains here. It's a riot. There's vines that have grown up, of twisted the grasses into these thick cables that some of them are holding raiders, other of them are just sort of laying empty. Scorch marks along the part of the grass, as it looks like someone is let loose with their fire magic. Orduk is in the middle of the glen with some of the other acolytes, and he's got fire in one hand and a great big branch that's sprouting with vines and floral whatevers in the other, as he just kind of summons the power of nature, nascent as it is on this dying world, to defend the city that he calls home. It looks like there are 3 raiders there who are doing battle with Orduk and his acolytes.
Baloo would specifically, his ulterior motive, he wants to be generally nice to things. His ulterior motive would be to find his mentor, pretty much the only person on the Fellowship he genuinely cares about, other than Mer.
Mm-hmm.
Does he see?
Who is Baloo's mentor?
Well, I hadn't completely written that up.
That's okay.
But I have,
is it Orduk or is it someone else?
No, it would be somebody else. It would be somebody who. But we're going to use fantasy name generator real quick. This is not this is not plugged.
That's fine.
We're going to go with Jasper.
Jasper,
and we're going to roll a d6, and it is it's a man.
Okay.
So Jasper, old man druid, and warden. That is who he's looking for.
Okay, you do not see Jasper.
Okay. In which case, slow down to aid the. I'm not going to ram into anybody this time.
Okay, so you get off. You and Ellie can get off without any trouble. The two of you are there. What is it that you do to help assist Orduk in defending the garden against these raiders? We'll kind of play this out narratively, and as opposed to just like the round by round combat. Like, how do you come in and help out?
I think Ellie's just super, I guess, starstruck. I'm not sure what the word would be, but seeing this man summon nature, and was he a man?
He's an orc man.
An orc man.
Yeah.
Just
orc man.
And things.
Push his head down and he swings like this.
Nailed it. And she's just gonna like look at Baloo and like what is he?
But Baloo looks maybe not equally awestruck, but delighted to see nature magic at such a raw and powerful display.
It's not often Orduk lets fly, but he's of the old guard. He was around when they had to fight to carve Trade Town out of the wastes before all of this was lush and green. He's one of those, and so he's no pushover in a scrap.
Yeah, I think Baloo would he would yell to Ellie like yeah, let's defend him, or whatever. Let's defend the gardens. Is it possible, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
If you shapeshift, because you can still concentrate on spells. If you shapeshift into something that could hold something, could you still wield a flame blade if you took the shape of like a weird ape thing?
Yeah, if it has a hand, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think he's gonna do that. He's gonna make some like shift into some kind of reptilian ape thing, and just like bound in there with his sword. I'll use his stats for an ape.
That's fine.
And he's gonna start just trying to, because he knows fire's bad for them. So he's more than anything, he's just trying to put them on the defensive.
Okay, so you shapeshift into a lizard ape thing that's wielding your flaming sword in the other hand, and go about slashing and attacking them. How about Ellie? What does Ellie do to assist the defenders of the garden?
Yeah, the only thing she knows how to do currently, just use her great axe.
It's just murder. This sweet, naive.
She's so nice.
Yeah. And
but
yet,
murder.
So much death so far. The arrival of the two of you tips the balance in favor of the defenders, and your efforts drive off two of the raiders and slay a third lying at your feet. The other two, frustratingly and predictably, disappear using the etheric passageways between the planes to escape. And
Jim, you and your teleporting enemies.
I'm just telling you, man, it's very frustrating for players with enemies that can teleport. So, and you find yourselves triumphant, if bruised and bloodied, in Trade Town. What is it that y'all do in the immediate aftermath here? We'll return to those at the marketplace. You got the Gildan, Icky, and Myrrh were sort of picking through the rubble, helping out survivors, that kind of thing.
Well, Icky's probably found about as much as will hold her interest. So she's returned over to where Gildan is questioning Enoch, though she's pretty interested in what's going on, like by the Fellowship Gardens. She doesn't bother going over there, but she thinks it's interesting.
Gotcha. Gildan and Myrrh?
Go ahead, Myrrh.
Okay. Myrrh she'll be like, oh, your leg is trapped. What a tragedy. But why, what a beautiful set of studded leather armor you have there. Oh, but do you think that maybe if I help you, you help me?
Please, yes, I...
Oh, here we go, and I help.
Take what you need.
Oh, you're so kind. Just help him up and shrink.
Yeah, it's like a, one a hobgoblin or some kind. It's just sort of like, I can't, just get me out of this thing. And he's willing to offer what you want for payment. Gildan?
Gildan is trying to reach physically the highest spot that he can, and he is beginning to sing a hymn of the waste. It's a hymn called All Safely Gathered In. And what it is it's beckoning the people to come and gather around him, find your loved ones, see who's missing, are you accounted for? And essentially he's trying to take order of Trade Town so that a census can be taken and we can determine who has gone missing.
Who rules Trade Town? Gildan rules Trade Town. You are using like thaumaturgy to amplify your voice?
I might as well. I'm little.
Okay. The tallest structure around here is actually the Drow Embassy. If you want to take a minute or two to climb up the top, but you're nimble like that, I guess.
Yeah.
And as you gain a vantage point and begin your hymn of sanctuary and recovery, you can see across that the pyramid has sort of, I forget the name, bifurcated in two. It's sort of like opened itself up, and this large aperture in the pyramid has disgorged what appears to be a whole battalion of regimented raiders with their weapons in precision ranks across the river, and slowly there's a mist that escapes out of it, and something large is floating out of the pyramid as it descends the ramp and exits into the sort of marshland across the river. You can see a figure. Gildan can see him high collared with this sort of large flaring triple collar, great big pointed shoulder blades, and just like the most vivid purple sort of robe that drapes down, a mask of silver, motionless, featureless, as it descends the ramp and gets up off this floating throne and looks out over Trade Town. And our viewers and players will have to figure out next week who the mysterious figure is and what happens. There we go. All right. Hope everybody had a good time. Let's go back through our players. Tell us what you thought, where we can find you, what parting words you have, any words of wisdom or encouragement for the folks out there. Josh, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Blue is invested, and also he's really pleased that he can set things on fire.
Yes, yeah. That's going to come in handy, I think.
It is. And Josh is also invested. You can find me on Twitter at Beard for Charity, and Instagram, a couple of places too. And I did a little bit of art for the show today.
Yes, the picture of the Raiders is your work, is it not?
Yeah, and I'm working on doing portraits for all these guys. It's going to be really fun.
It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be very fun.
Twitter or my DeviantArt if you want to see them.
There you go. TK. Icky is a interesting character. Is she's not?
A growing girl.
Yes, she is.
She's a growing girl. She's the mean and hungry type. She's man eater.
She is.
I was trying to assess how many people in the chat might actually know those lyrics, and then I was like, well, I'm just gonna give it to them, whatever. Yeah, I'm TK. You can catch any of my writing on my Facebook page because I still don't have a website because I'm lazy. And there's not too much writing going on right now. Instead, you're just gonna be bombarded with a bunch of in progress pictures from my wedding. Samson, what, nosy? Because I'm working on armor for that.
You're working on armor for your wedding.
Yeah, it's a Conan the Barbarian theme.
This is amazing.
The Hyborian Masquerade.
Yeah.
My huge cat. But you'll be able to see my upcoming projects. I have a comic that I'm releasing with Kayla Klein. And some of it's going to be available for pre-order for the Waffle Crew zine,
Nice.
Dice Camera zine, and I will also have a short story available in that zine.
Excellent. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, tears all around.
Anna.
Hello.
Anna, hello.
I had a great time. I love the development of how Ellie's kind of doing the thing and with everybody. So yeah, she's definitely not going to be eating guts anytime soon. But
Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay.
That's it's not for everybody, I guess.
Disappointment, but whatever. But you can find me online at places and stuff. On Twitch as Cyborg Pizza, and if you click there, you can find all my links. But I'm on Twitter, and I am also on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm on Encounter Roleplay, playing some more D&D. So Thursdays is just like D&D
It's just
day.
nonstop D&D.
Yeah, exactly. Back to back. And I'm also part of a all-ladies actual play 5e podcast called Wonder Quest. If you like crying, go listen to that.
There's
Tears of joy when they die. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, and we just released a Patreon. It's also there on my Twitch channel. And there's a cool video that my friend Travis made of me kicking my best friend's butt.
It's awesome.
Check it out.
Go check it out. Lindy, you're up.
Oh my goodness. I thought we had more time to play. I was so invested. I didn't realize how much time had passed. I was like, wow.
I feel the same way. I was like, oh, crap.
Oh man, combat really flew. Oh, but yeah, super awesome. I'm excited to kind of get into Mer's skin a little bit more in her not as nice as originally, maybe portrayed. She's definitely always has an ulterior motive for everything. It's really fun to play.
Oh, yeah.
But you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy. I play way too much tabletop role-playing games. I say that's not true. You can never have too much. But we'll start with Sunday nights. Grimjack21502's channel. I play Pulp Cthulhu, where I'm like a German scientist doctor lady, former Nazi, defected. Mondays, nothing. Mondays is chill. Tuesday mornings, Tomes and Tentacles podcast is released by Encounter Roleplay. It's super creepy, super awesome. Phenomenal. It's like a radio drama. It's really great. Also, Tuesday nights on my channel, Running Out of the Abyss. It's super fun, crazy players. Takes us forever to get anything done because we're just laughing the whole time. It's awesome. Wednesday afternoons, Encounter Roleplay. More Call of Cthulhu, where I'm a hobo right now. It's super cool. And then today, you can find me here. Thursdays, that's where it's at, right here. It's super awesome. Starting tomorrow on the Greyhawk channel, I will be doing a 4-week kind of like mini campaign where we're doing the Tomb of Horrors, and it's going to be super exciting. And I still have to decide what I'm playing. And then this Saturday on Power Score RPG, I will be playing Asana, a yoga instructor monk running through Tomb of Annihilation.
Yoga instructor.
Yes.
That is a lot of D&D and Call of Cthulhu. All right. And Grant, you powered through it. You made it.
I did. I survived. I'm a little under the weather, but my friends out there in the web DM chat room. You can find me on the Twitters at Wise Papa Grant, on the Twitch at Grant R. Ellis. I'll be running the Dungeons and the Dragons tomorrow morning with an impromptu game where anyone can come out and play. I play D&D 7 days a week. I play with the finest DMs, the most wonderful players. You're all welcome to check it out. On Saturdays, I host the Story Forge for Encounter Roleplay's YouTube channel. On Sundays, I'm playing Cypher System with Monty Cook Games. Mondays, I am on the Greyhawk channel's new show, The Vile and the Villainous, brother. And on Tuesdays, Unmade Gaming, I play in The Myth Dawn. And that brings us back around to Wednesdays, woo, on my channel. And I might be a little bit of a Ric Flair tonight, but I thank all you fine folks for coming out. Jim Davis is the finest DM, and we've got the prettiest faces. I'm talking about we're the Fabulous Five, and we're skinning them alive, eating their meats, and that's all we're going to eat, brother. Woo!
All right. This is great. I'm loving the game, and it's great to prep for a world and then see it realized with such great characters. I am, of course, Jim Davis from WebDM. You probably already know that if you're here right now, but we have videos most of the time on Wednesdays, definitely by Thursdays. If you love us, if you like what we do, you can join our Patreon, get us on Mondays as well, extra video, and Fridays we do a Patreon podcast where we talk about the games that we've developing, this one as well as Starward Bound, which is on Tuesdays, same time on our Twitch channel. So if you like what we do, you want a little bit extra of it, you got to have it every day. Check us out over there. We love you guys. We appreciate you coming out and watching us as we play the game. And we will see you Tuesday for episode 3 of Starward Bound. Good night, guys.
All right. Night.